Hello, folks. Hope you all are doing great today. I am here with the brains behind SDI's Adobe Go-to-Market team to deep dive on a solution, kind of a cool solution that we worked on recently. If you've been on the Google stack, you might think that you are limited to Google's ecosystem for some of the more advanced types of implementations that you may want to be doing with your marketing teams and internally. But we are here to share that you are not limited and there are other options. And if you wanted to jump over into the Adobe side and the Adobe stack, that it is actually really possible. So first off, we just want to just diving into this. What did we do and why did we do this?
Well, what we did was we took a kind of common use case for a CDP, and rather than using Adobe Analytics as our event-based source, we use Google Analytics 4. And we took that Google Analytics web behavior and we stitched that together with our Salesforce CRM, and we drove a journey with Adobe's Journey Optimizer where we were able to personalize emails based on what kind of information we knew about you in your profile. So, the whole goal of this solution was to show that we could use Google Analytics as the event source rather than Adobe Analytics and still take advantage of all of the great applications that Experience Platform provides: customer journey analytics, the real-time CDP, and Adobe Journey Optimizer.
Very cool. Now, how does this work?
Well, how it works is that we were able to transform the kind of highly nested structure of Google Analytics into the XDM structure of Adobe's schemas and stream that Google data into the real-time CDP. And in that way, we streamed that behavioral data in. Once you filled out a web form on a lead gen site, we immediately got your information and we passed in first and last name and email and that event that was the form fill, and we're able to begin a journey by passing that over to Adobe's journey optimizer. Now, at the same time, that data was sent back to the Salesforce CRM, and we batched that up daily and sent that back into AEP once a day, as I said, and we're able to stitch that Google data with the enriched data we have in the Salesforce platform, and whether or not they've been contacted before, all those things that we know about you, and then from that profile, we're able to kind of get more information for subsequent emails in the journey.
That's very cool. Now, one thing that would be on a lot of folks' minds is the time to value. Can you talk a little bit more about how long it took to stand up this solution?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was about 2 months or so. I mean, we were doing this internally, so it wasn't maybe at the same pace you would with a full implementation. But basically, the challenging part was transforming that Google data into a way that we could accept it into Adobe, but it really wasn't that difficult, and everything worked like a charm. And then, using Adobe's Journey Optimizer to set up that multi-channel personalized experience for the customer. And then we did some analysis with customer journey analytics. So really the time to value was quick. And I think this is the kind of use case that you run into a lot, wanting to basically kick off some sort of communication with somebody in real time, but then follow up based on the profile that you can create from other data sources you have in your ecosystem.
Awesome, very cool. So when we look at, what other use cases we could do this for, what else can we use a similar type of solution and setup? What other use cases can we solve with this?
Yeah, so this solution is actually really great if you're trying to get more holistic digital campaign performance and insights. One reason is that it's going to give you a more complete picture of what your campaigns are driving in terms of your bottom line impact. And that's going to include your offline conversions, which is something that you're not going to get with just GA4 right out of the box. Another thing that's nice is you're going to have those online and offline sources side by side, which is going to give you more complete pathing. And that's really going to help you understand where your non-converters are falling out, which will then really help you easily identify where you have optimization opportunities across all of your channels, not even just necessarily your digital. And then, all that data is there. You can analyze it, which is great, but you can actually do algorithmic attribution. And other types of AI augmented analysis, which really just helps you take the insights that you're driving and kick them up a notch.
Oh wow, that will be huge for CMOs as they're planning and prioritizing budgets and trying to make more data-driven decisions. It seems like it
Exactly.
opens up a lot of opportunities.
Exactly. It's really going to help them understand the journey in a way they really couldn't before. And once that data is in there, another thing that's nice about working with it within CJA is that you're going to have a lot more flexibility than you would have with GA4. You're going to be able to do things like fix and accurate historical data. You'll be able to create merchandising dimensions after implementation, which really helps you further break down your sales and other types of online conversions, even if you miss something during that initial implementation phase. And another thing that I think is really nice is it's really easy to make the data interpreted by analysts and stakeholders alike, and make it really intuitive for them with things like deduping metrics and updating dimension value names. But that's not all with the data. With the way it's structured and everything, it actually makes your data science workflows far more efficient. But I'll pass it off to a real data scientist to actually talk about that in a little more detail.
Ooh, a real data scientist in our midst.
All of a sudden the magic starts happening. Here I am.
I love it.
No, I think what Ryan was just saying was actually stuff that as a data science team, when we get into projects, that's a majority of our time and effort is trying to understand where the missing data is or what is wrong with the data, and then create workflows to fix that, to stitch data together across different platforms. When we're looking at the different Google platforms that we can pull data from, when that's been done and put into a structure that marketing teams can utilize, such as what Colin was able to do through the journey orchestration. That's so powerful when a data science team has a question that needs to get answered. We're not fooling around with trying to get that data set up in a certain way. In addition, it's API first. So CJA as well as AEP allow us to use R and other in Python in order to pull data out and be able to set those workflows up to where we can run some pretty powerful processes and modeling approaches on the back end, even back into other platforms, and send that back through into AEP, which then again, throw it right back at Colin to be able to create some of those cool those integrations with the behavior and really changing some things for how the marketing teams can make decisions and then act on those decisions across the board. So large amount of flexibility across the different components that we are able to work with now within AEP and outside of it.
Awesome. I mean, I can see this being a really huge solution for, like I mentioned before, marketing teams who are trying to get more visibility into what their agencies are doing with some of their campaigns that they're running and what's happening there, and just having more data or more access to tools that help you act on that data is just incredible and powerful. And we know Adobe has some of the leading tools in this space to help accomplish on some of those goals. Is there any other data we should be looking at that might not commonly be thought of as something that's pretty easy to integrate with AEP, but actually is?
We come across a lot with, I know in the data science side, especially BigQuery, which is it's the big neighborhood in the story of where we try and pull information from. And that integrates very well from what we've seen. And it also allows us for many other common integrations with Google. It's one thing Google has done very well is being able to allow us to have access to that data. And it's seen as a closed environment, but it really does allow us to analyze that data and use some of the more powerful modeling approaches on the data science front. But I think that opens the door for so many other Google products now that we have been able to see it just with the streaming piece. But Larry, I know you were talking about other parts of the Google platform as well that integrates, and this kind of opens the door for that, right?
Yeah, it does. I think that I have to agree with everything you've said there in terms of the data science capabilities being easily fed back into the system for activation and analysis.
Awesome. Well, Colin, would you mind rounding us out with some final thoughts on what was your favorite thing about this project and working on the solution?
Yeah, I just thought it was really amazing being able to see such a robust personalization tool, be able to take this data and really Journey Optimizer is fantastic for being able to really quickly and with immediate reward see these journeys running, test them out, simulate them and run them on your environment. And really once the structure was in place and once the architecture was in there, it just all kind of was ready to expand and the world was our oyster. So it was really cool.
That's awesome. Well, there you have it, folks. AEP works with Google too, and we've showed it. Thank you guys. I really appreciate the time today, and thanks for helping us go through this solution and deep dive.